Nothing like a little sunshine. Got sand on your feet and a big bass line. Moving slow, cause we've got time. You sparkles out, party at mine. Check out the view, shades low. Started at 2, now we're good to go. Come to my party, all of your friends are here, and we're all smiling ear to ear. Come disappear.
I'm all in.
I'm all in. All in.
But there's a king on the turn!
Me. It's never easy in poker.
Who the is this guy?
Ooh, I'm in good shape right now.
The town takes it down! Like it's like holes, and it's over!
Welcome to the PokerStars European Poker Tour. It's final table day in Barcelona. The final 6 players in the main event will play down to a champion. Someone's going to receive the first prize of 1.6 million euros. Hello everyone, I'm James Hartigan. Joe Stapleton is down on the floor. With me in the booth, Randy Liu.
Hey everyone.
I should bring you up to speed, just in case you missed anything that happened on day 5. Let me tell you what happened on the penultimate day of this record-breaking event. Just 13 players returned to the tables, with 2 former champs still in the field and 2 qualifiers in the Platinum Pass Last Longer Challenge. Danny Tang was the first player to hit the rail, a misjudged, mistimed hero call. Ben Heath almost cracked aces, but was rivered and departed in 12th. Hao Jung-wang built a huge stack, crippling Fabiano Kowalski with kings against jacks, and Kowalski busted shortly afterwards. Georges Hanna went out in 10th, getting us to our unofficial final table. Then the 2 remaining EPT champs clashed, Ognian Dimov getting the better of John Juanda, the 2015 Barcelona winner, out in 9th. No luck of the Irish for Patrick Clark or Mark Buckley, eliminated in 8th and 7th, respectively. Wong ended the day with the chip lead. Online qualifier, Petr Nijinsky just behind him. Between them, they have more than half the chips in play. We spoke to the chip leader at the end of play yesterday.
It's amazing, you know, it's my first time to take part in such a big tournament, and actually I just played poker for almost 2 years, less than 2 years, it's just like a dream.
So we've referenced the 2 big stacks at the table, Randy, Wong and Nijinsky. Let's have a look at all 6 players and let's see what they're bringing to the final day of the Barcelona main event. 81 bigs, 77 bigs for the chip leaders. Dimov, just above average with 50 big blinds. Matthias de Kerpe with 35 big blinds. And then we've got the 2 Portuguese players, the 2 friends at the final table. Marks with 34 bigs, Rodrigo Carmo clinging on with just 10 big blinds. We heard from the guy at the top of the leaderboard, Hao Jung-wang. Let's hear from the guy who's second in chips, qualifier Petr Nijinsky.
But what can I say? Dreams come true. I have been watching EPT for many years, and I always dreamed to be on the final table, but I'm shocked. I have been playing poker for many years, but it wasn't my main occupation. I'm a doctor. I finished medicine and I did 1 year practice. And then with my fiance, I decided to travel the world and play poker. Yeah, and we have been traveling for 1.5 years. half year more, and I'm coming back to being a doctor.
Nijinsky living the dream. He's also in the qualifier last long contest for a platinum pass with this guy, Ognion Dimov.
Yesterday, when the Polish guy was shorter, there was bigger ICM pressure for me because of the platinum pass. I didn't have any hard spots where I made hero faults, but yeah, I had it in my head.
What about Wang? Seems to be quite an unpredictable player. Have you struggled to understand his method?
Yeah, it's really hard to play against players that are so unpredictable, but my strategy is going to be not to play big pots with him, at least in the beginning, while there are short stacks. And then we will be in some big pots. I'm going to win this trophy and make the biggest result of my career.
When we talk about platinum passes, we're talking about packages to the first ever PokerStars Players No Limit Hold'em Championship taking place in the Bahamas in January 2019. What will likely be the biggest 25K event in history. More than $8 million being added to the prize pool by PokerStars by virtue of these platinum passes, plus an extra $1 million to the eventual winner. Now, there are more than 300 platinum passes that are going to be awarded throughout 2018. Some of them being given away at live events, some of them being given away online. And if you want to find out how you could win a platinum pass, check out the details at PokerStarsLive.com.
Hello and welcome to the European Poker Tour and the live final table of our 15th Barcelona main event, the biggest EPT main event of all time. 1,931 total entries, nearly 10 million euros in the prize pool, 1.6 million euros to the eventual winner. The eventual winner, one of these 6 remaining players. Let's meet them now. Hot off a deep run in this year's Spanish National Championship, a top 3 finish today would launch the player in seat 1 into another number 1 seat, his country's all-time money list. From Estonia, Matthias Tekerpe. The player in seat 2 is a wave-catching doctor on sabbatical. He qualified for EPT Barcelona on PokerStars while surfing through South America. At the moment, he has locked in this tasty barrel, frothing at the chance to be the 2nd Barcelona champion from his home country, from Poland, Piotr Nijinsky. At only 24 years old, the player in seat 3 eclipsed his total lifetime live tournament earnings on day 4 of this event. If he takes it down, he'll make nearly 100 times that number and just might help drive some traffic to his poker coaching business. From Portugal, Rodrigo Carmo. The player in seat 4 is currently studying for his master's and was introduced to poker by one of his teachers. He says he's purely a recreational player and hasn't been playing the game very long at all. Could have fooled us. This is how we do it. From China, Haozhang Wang. Joining his friend and countryman Rodrigo at this final table is the player in seat 5. He knows what it's like to go deep in Barcelona. Last year, he chopped the PokerStars national high roller for 300,000 euros. A win here would put him at the top of his country's all-time money list. From Portugal, Pedro Marques. The player in seat 6 took home just over €500,000 when he won EPT Deauville in 2015. Today, he stands to win nearly 3 times as much. He's looking to be the first man to ever lift 2 EPT main event trophies. Ognion Dimov. Let's get a big round of applause for all the players here at the final table. Dealer Daniela, you know what to do. Good luck, everyone.
Wang just can't take his foot off the gas.
Maybe this is his way of being nervous. You know, some people, they play tight when they're nervous. She's like, Matt, bet, Matt, raise.
So the raise is to 450K. Dimov with Queen 9 in the big blind defends.
Dimov playing his A game today.
A 9-7-5 flop. Pair in a straight draw for Wong. Top pair for Dimov. Action check to the pre-flop aggressor, and he continues.
As Randy would say, it's a front door straight draw, but he's got backdoor clubs.
A bet of 400,000 called by Dimov. 4 of clubs on the turn. Wong now with a flush draw as well.
This is a good card to continue barreling. Your opponent usually has like a random 7 or 5 in their hand. Get those to fold. Going to fire again. He's got a lot of outs in case he is behind.
And he's employing the golden brown chips worth 500,000 each. That's a bet of 1.3 million.
Your Dimov here, top pair, good kicker. Lots of draws out there. I think you just got to continue.
Dimov calls the bet. The river card is the 10 of diamonds. It's a blank. Dimov still with the best hand. Checks the action to Wong. 4.6 million in the middle.
Yeah, Wong knows he probably doesn't have the best hand when he bets the flop, gets called, bets the turn and gets called. He's going to take it showdown.
And this is not an insignificant pot for Ognian Dimov to win. It's going to see him leapfrog Wong on the leaderboard, adding 2.25 million to his stack. Dimov looking to win his second EPT title here in Barcelona. Now has a 62 big blind stack. Wong has dropped down to 57 bigs, 11.5 million. Nijinsky still chip leader. And the 2 Portuguese players are still at the bottom end of the leaderboard. 31 big blinds for Pedro Marques, 20 bigs for Rodrigo Carmo, and still 55 minutes to play at the 100-200 blind level.
Nijinsky's got to be loving this.
And 25 of the final table. Actions on Ognian Dimov. Ace-8. Raises to 450,000. Queen-8 of clubs for Piotr Nijinsky. He flats. Carmo in the small. Folds. Wong in the big. That's 5 deuce of clubs.
Not a good hand, but with a suited straight draw type hand, it is worthy of a call.
3-way to the flop. And that flop is Jack, Jack 5, just the 1 club out there.
Somehow 5's the best hand, though.
That's what they call that hand, the Perez.
The old Perez.
Action check to Dimov. He does not continue. Nijinsky on the button. That's 600,000. Quick call from Wong. And Dimov folds, heads up to the turn. That 8 sees Nijinsky take the lead and become a 95% favorite.
Probably didn't expect to hit the 8. Looks like he is going to try to get some value out of a 5.
I mean, when you get called there, your opponent has a 5 or a jack, right?
Yeah, I think if you do bet this turn card, you usually check back the river, or you check the turn and call river bet.
3 of diamonds on the river.
You're sitting here for a pair of fives. Probably think you're good. Trying to get the showdown. Checks it.
Brzezinski bets this, man. I give him so much credit.
Question is, if he does bet it, will he get called? Is Wong going to pay him off with just a 5? Again, he's going for his meaty bet on the river, 2 million into 2.85 million.
He knows he did bet like this against Wong before. It didn't get called. If you keep doing the same bet, your opponent eventually wants to call. Wong knows his hand looks like a 5. Would his opponent try to move him off of it is the question. Is he reaching for chips or just touching them?
Well, that one's all messed up. Look, he's got him in perfect lines. He's probably going to figure that out.
He's
first.
also running out of time. Guessing he's playing his time bank cards.
Consternation.
It's a call.
Wow, Brzezinski is running away with this.
Wong pays him off, and Petr Nijinsky has now moved over the 20 million mark. He's got 21.6 million. He's got more than 100 big blinds. So round 2. Wong on the button, who's got kings.
He finally got one of those real hands.
King Kong Wong.
Raises to 500,000 using a single golden brown chip.
And I believe that he has raised 100% of his buttons when the action's been folded to him.
Dimov defends his big blind. Haven't seen Dimov's hand yet. 7-6, and he flops 2 pair.
Yikes.
Nearly a 3-to-1 favorite.
And we've seen Wong have a tough time with the marginal laydown. How tough a time is he going to have with a big laydown?
So he's continued for 700,000. Randy, how fast do you expect Dimov to play this?
I expect Dimov to play it fast because there's a lot of bad turn cards like an 8, a 5, a 3 that would slow down the action. His opponent is betting pretty big on the flop, so it looks a little bit more committing, like he's like his hand. There's a check raise.
A fist full of gray. Those are the 100K chips. So the check raise from Dimov is to 2 million.
So Wong's got the overpair, trying to think what hands does he beat. He beats like 8-9, 6-5 that's playing super fast. Would he play it this fast? That's the question. Just gonna call. I like the slower play. Just a lot of bad turn cards. If your opponent continues on 8 or 5, probably got a good hand.
Oh, wow.
Oh, man.
With the board pairing 4s, Wong now has a better 2 pair and becomes a 9-to-1 favorite. Dimov checks to him.
What do you do if you're Wong now? Because some 2 pairs just became a full house.
That is true. But then again, do you want to give a free card to 2 hearts, a 5, 8, you know, all of these random hands? You don't know which one you're trying to dodge.
Some people get a little funky with bottom pair. That just became trips.
So he is going to use a time bank extension here, trying to figure out the best play. He's got a pot-sized bet remaining. Trying to use any information he can get.
Using those time bank cards to buy more thinking time.
So he's thinking about, would his opponent snap check a full house? Would he snap check a straight right now? These are the decisions that will help you decide whether to bet your pocket kings.
And I think the answer is yes, maybe.
You're correct, it is yes, maybe. He doesn't know.
Long bets 2.5 million.
What do you do if you're D-Mob now? Do you just give up on this?
Well, you can see that Wong's pretty much committed himself now. Half of his remaining chips have just been bet on the turn.
I mean, he's repping an overpair pretty hard.
Yeah, this is a pretty tough spot with top two pair. You're thinking, man, I put so many chips in, get counterfeited, and you can still have the best hand. Your opponent's on a dealer button, might have like ace-7, right? You know, like some kind of big play with a 5. Gonna make the call.
Wow.
Biggest pot of the day so far as Dimov calls the turn bet, 10.3 million in the middle.
And Wang's got practically nothing left behind compared to the size of this pot.
The river card is a 9, doesn't change anything. It goes check, check on the river. And the level comes to an end with Haosheng Wang getting back a lot of the chips he's lost over the course of the last 90 minutes. He's back up to second on the leaderboard. Well, this hand starts with ace-king in early position for Matthias de Kerpe. And he's going to open ship. Pocket nines for Nijinsky. Or as we like to call them, les nuts des étoiles.
Stars nuts, James?
The man speaks French.
Yes.
Can't imagine that he's going to be folding the pocket nines here.
So the question really is, Finton, do you just call or look to re-isolate?
I think you just call. The only other player who you're not going to be calling is Wong, and if Wong shoves here, he's just going to have an absolutely huge hand. So I think you can actually call fold.
Well, everyone else has folded, so here we go. Matthias de Kerpe racing for his tournament life. Gets it in with ace-king against the nines of Nijinsky. Nines hold, we see our first elimination of the day on the 50th hand of the day.
De Kerpe at risk.
The Estonian rail. Side by side with Peter Nijinsky's fiancée Asha. It's a low flop and they're spades rather than clubs. De Kerpe looking for an ace or a king. Nijinsky now 3-1 favorite to eliminate the Estonian. 6 on the turn, 6 outs for De Kerpe. The crowd wanting very different things on the river. The river card is a queen, and we lose our first player of the day as Matthias de Kerpe exits in 6th place, cashing for €287,050. Has ace-king, 15 bigs.
I imagine we're going to see another flip here, right?
I mean, Carmo, you'd imagine, certainly shoving. Wong with the 2-8s, very hard to fold versus a short stack jam, just 15 big blinds. There's the shove. And there is that red triangle of death in front of Carmo.
Wong's asked for a count, and when he gets the number, I'm pretty sure he is going to be putting Camo at risk.
It's not a call he'll be delighted to have to make, but it feels like it might just be on the borderline.
4.
It's a huge pot for Wong as well if he was to lose this. If he kind of start to drag down to those lower stacks, if he's in the middle himself, it looks like he has called though. Cards on their backs.
So here we go, another coin flip, another race, the pocket pair of Haoxiong Wang against the overcards of Rodrigo Camo, who is the player at risk. That is Wang's rail, including his friend Hanyang in the black t-shirt.
Has to fade an ace or a king, and we'll be down to just 4 players.
跑马输了不知道多少次了。
Jack 5 deuce, 8s are still ahead. Camo, one of 2 Portuguese friends to have made this final table, needs an ace or a king. And he needs to hit one of his 6 outs on the river, or we are down to 4 players.
One chance to stay alive.
The river card.
3边。
Is a 3-8 hold, and we lose another player. We go an entire level losing no one, and in the space of 3 hands, boom, 2 bust outs. As Wong celebrates with his rail.
终于顶住了。
He's now playing a 65 big blind stack. Meanwhile, Rodrigo Camo managed to ladder. Remember, he came into play today with fewer than 10 big blinds, and he cashes out in 5th place for 354,200 euros.
And delight for our other short stacks at the table, Dimov and Marks, because they're laddering up. Everybody now guaranteed 424,000 euro.
Celebrate with your mates. Put your arms in the air like you just don't care. Nijinsky in the small has 8 deuce of hearts.
This man will not be hitting any 2s.
Nope, all 3 of the other deuces already in the muck. To Wong in the big blind, a smile and a check.
7-5-4. It is a flush draw and a gut shot for Nijinsky. Wang has the same straight draw and is still ahead with king high.
It's a board Nijinsky's going to look to do a lot of checking on in general. A lot of his value bets don't necessarily want to bet the flop. It's hard to value bet them on a lot of turns. He starts with a check, and Wong makes the stab with a king 8. Obviously, both players with that gut shot straight draw. Wong with the extra overcard, but it's Nijinsky with the flush draw as well.
Well, that's a check raise from Nijinsky. Wong bet 325,000. Nijinsky pumps it up to 1.1 million.
And it's a fairly tough spot for Wong to want to call in. Obviously, we can see he's got the gut shot straight draw, but even if he hits an 8, he's not happy. If he hits a king on the turn versus a flop check raise, it's going to be very difficult for him down the streets. But it looks like he is continuing.
Also,
I was going to say 6 of hearts would be brutal, but instead it's the king of diamonds. Wong didn't need to improve, but he does. Top pair.
and whilst he did have a good shot on the flop, it's to a 4-card straight, which is going to be pretty hard to get paid off in the first place.
Right, if you hit your 6, is your opponent going to start shoveling chips in with just a 7 or even 2 pair, right?
Well, having check raised flop, Nijinsky now barrels the turn for 2.4 million.
I really like this. He shut down previously when he turned a little bit of equity, but he's going to go for it here. He has the good shot, he has the flush draw, and Wong's going to have a lot of hands. He's going to have some 5x, he's going to have some maybe 4-6 hands that are just going to have to fold versus all this pressure versus the chip leader. Of course, it's unfortunate for him that he's turned the king, but I really like that he continues here.
I mean, even if Wong has a 7 and gets barreled on the turn and river, you've got to imagine he's going to be folding. Obviously, picking up the king, he's going nowhere. Will Nijinsky fire 3 streets?
If he doesn't, he's not going to be the chip leader anymore. It is not a fun river card to bluff.
And that's because it cuts down a lot of his value hands, right? Like he can have 7-4, which probably can't value bet anymore. He can have fewer combinations of 7-5 and pocket fives and 4-5 because, you know, the 5 on the board makes it less likely he has that in his hand. Just means that with his value range getting that much smaller, obviously when you relate it to his bluffs as a ratio are just going to go up. So is it a card he wants to pull the trigger on? Time bank card and deep in thought.
He's loading up. He is going to bluff the river. 4,500,000 is that?
And we spoke about it on the flop, but Wong catching that king, and it's still a very, very awkward situation for him. Nijinsky can still have 4-5, pocket fours, 7-5, 6-8.
What hands is Nijinsky going to want to bet here when he check raises 3 times? He's going to want to bet his straights. He's going to want to bet his full houses, but that's pretty much it. He's not going to have a 5 too often, so I might want to go bigger with my size in here, closer to full pot. But I mean, it's an incredibly tough spot with King 8 right now.
And understandably, time bank cards being played, and you can tell that Wong is split down the middle. He's counted out the chips for the call, but they did the classic look back at your cards, which players inevitably do just before they fold.
But important to note, 12.25 million chips in the middle.
Right now, it doesn't matter, though, what odds he's getting, really. He kind of needs to be right. He can't be getting these wrong. I know you're getting odds. I know you have to call some parts of your range, but when there's so much money up top, you kind of got to throw it out the window a little bit and make the right decision right now.
Wong calls.
He does.
And that is a huge pot, which will change the chip lead at this final table. A big call, which sees him move up over the 28 million mark, and Petr Nijinsky drop down to below 15 million. Pocket eights again for Wong. Bless you.
Let's see the flop.
Ace-3 for Mark. He shoved with this hand from the big blind last time, but this time he checks.
A little bit of speech play from Wong there.
Let's see the flop, he says. Oh, he'll wish he hadn't.
10-7. Action goes check, check. Straight draw for Wong on the turn.
Happy to check again. Still ahead of a lot of hands that just check in the big blind.
Don't anticipate this going check, check for a second time, though.
$425,000. Wong calls with a pair of eights. No, he doesn't. He check raises. Check raises with the pair in the straight draw. It's check raise city. $2 million.
Given the connectivity of the board, Marks might be suspicious that Wong would let anything decent take off free cards here.
Particularly when he has an ace in his hand.
Even if Wong was playing trap on the flop, it'd be unlikely he checks again on the turn and risks a bad river if he has something like pocket sevens. He doesn't want to see a diamond or 6 or an 8 or a jack.
He might also realize at this point that he's somewhat capped, right? He hasn't got many strong hands at this point.
Jams the turn.
I'm priced in and I have to call.
If he does, he'll have 10 outs. I mean, that's better than a flush draw.
That's why they pay the big bucks.
Thank you.
Two 9 more.
Does he ever feel like he can have the best hand as well? Maybe against 8-5 of diamonds or something?
You have the
very
you
occasionally.
have the best hand now, bet.
There's the call. So Mark's set for a double up here, but Wong does have 10 outs. Sixes, eights, and jacks all working for him. Cards that Mark will have to fade on the river.
There you see the red triangle next to Mark. He's at risk. He needs to fade the cards in the top left to stay in the tournament.
6 6 6 6 6。没逼过别人，要逼一次了，茫茫多道次。
Let's see the river.
6。
It's a 4. March gets the double up through Wong. We are still four-handed here in Barcelona.
Nice friend.
So we referred to this being a record-breaking EPT Barcelona, and it's the 15th Barcelona main event that there's been. The first was back in 2004. Alexander Stevic, the original champion on the European Poker Tour, and we can see with those prize payouts how the tour grew very quickly over the next few seasons. In the modern era, we saw Martin Schleich, railed by Ola Shemian, win here in 2011. And the following year was the year of the Finns in hats, but it was Nikolai Pabal who emerged victorious. We mentioned Midi a moment ago. He took it down in 2013. Andre Letal, Savan, won in 2014. Then it was Jawanda, Mallets, last year's main event champion, hashtag Scarf Guy, Sebastian Sorensen, who will follow in his footsteps and claim the prize of 1.6 million euros. 4 players remain in the biggest field we've ever seen on the European Poker Tour.
Tournament director Toby Stone, which leads me to believe that a deal is being discussed.
All right, guys. So what we've got here, if you want to come in a little bit closer, I've got your 4 names here. I've got your chip counts, which will be confirmed. This is the last position which we're going to take out of the prize pool because you have to play for 10% of remaining. So everyone's already got 4 play. Yeah. Everyone agrees? Mm-hmm. All right, guys.
All right, we have a deal. Hercules, Hercules, Hercules. So that's what everyone is locked up. They're still playing for an additional 180,000 euros for the winner and the Platinum Pass. Also, there is still the Platinum Pass on the line between Jasinski and Dimov. Hand number 81 here at the final table. Pocket 10s for Hao Zhang Wang. He's been aggressive throughout this tournament, and his aggression has not dialed down at all since the deal has been made. March, who starts the hand with just over 21 big blinds, has ace tray of clubs on the button.
Yeah, this is 4-handed. I wouldn't be surprised he shoves all in here. He knows Wong is going to raise a lot and will just fold to a shove, but pocket 10s would actually make a call.
There's the all-in from March. Dimov and Nerzinski fold. I assume Wong will be beating him into the pot. There are the cards on their backs. It is looking very likely that March is going to be eliminated in 4th place. His friend Rodrigo was eliminated not too long ago. Tell you what, I'm not going to miss the controversy over pronouncing his name. But I can assure you, he told me it's March.
I'm afraid of 3. Queen 3, and there is 3. May A, May A, May A.
Pretty safe flop for pocket 10s, 1 club.
再顶2张。
Not much to worry about, Mr. Wong.
10.
No additional outs with the Queen of Hearts on the turn. March needs an ace and only an ace on the river. Otherwise, he is out of here in fourth. Not an ace. It's an 8. Pedro March eliminated from EPT Barcelona 2018 in fourth place. Was supposed to win 424,000 euro. Thanks to that deal, now nearly 700,000 euros to take back to Portugal.
It was amazing, you know, having my parents around here, my friends and my girlfriend, something amazing.
And has your mum always been supportive about your dreams and career in poker?
Yeah, always, since the beginning. Yeah, they used to play with me, so yeah, for sure.
They didn't teach you, did they?
No, I teach them, but then after a few years we started playing together. We even played EPT together, all of us.
So once you've cashed out now, you'll play a high-stakes game with your mum?
No, not with my mum. With my mum, just with sense.
And now we've lost both the Portuguese players. What's the plan for this evening? Are you going to celebrate such a good week?
Yeah, for sure. Celebrate having a dinner with every one of them, and yeah, maybe some party also.
Hand number 88, pocket eights. Agyang Dimov. Agyang all in from the button. King 7 of clubs. Gets a fold from Rzinski. Called by Haozhang Wang before we could even get to him with the cameras. Fist pump when he sees it's Domination Nation. Wang is about to eliminate Dimov. Yeah, better start drinking that beer, buddy, because I think you're going to lose the last longer.
That was a very quick call. The best hand, just King 8 offsuit.
Agyang Dimov. Also, you know what? We did not mention this recently, is that he's playing for being a 2-time EPT champion, which actually you can't put a dollar amount on. Ace, 4, deuce, King 8 still way out in front. Dimov is going to need some help. 3 immediate outs, which are 7s. That does not increase his outs. No chops. A 7 and only a 7. It is very often coming 7, Randy Lou.
Is it going to come this time?
Will it be the 7 from heaven? No. No dice. Agyang Dimov eliminated in 3rd place. Haozhang Wang continues to mash this short-handed final table.
And then you will get it. Oh, okay. I will try.
And thanks to his deal, Agyang's going to walk with more than the 590,000 euros that was advertised. 725,000 euro.
With 2 players remaining, I'd just like to congratulate both players. Piotr Nuzicki. He's our last longer and he's won the Platinum Pass, and by default, Hao Changwan has also won a Platinum Pass. So a huge congratulations to these 2 players. And we're going to sit down and continue. Thank you very much.
All right, play on, players.
Pocket kings for Nerzinski, going to 3-bet it.
Hello.
This is the first 3-bet of the heads-up play. Wang has Jack-9 offsuit. It's not really the hand you're looking to play in a 3-bet pot if you don't have to, but just feels like he can outplay his opponent.
He can certainly outdraw his opponent. Happens every day. How about this? Wow.
So Wong has 47% against pocket kings on his flop.
They are flipping post-flop, kings versus jack 9. Middle pair and an up and down straight draw, backdoor spades for Wong, and he is coming out swinging.
All the chips can get in here in the middle, and Nerzinski 3-bets. I wouldn't fault him for putting all of the chips in here. There's so many bad cards. It's a good spot to think about whether you should just call or check raise all in. It's kind of one of those spots where, with kings, you're not in love with it, but I think all in is better. Wow, snap call.
Yeah, snap called. Now, here's the thing. This could be over. 50-50 chance it's over. Also, 50-50 chance Nerzinski doubles up.
这肯定打光了。I thought you had king jack, you snap call.
7 always come.
myślałem, że ma na co. Tego.
7.
7 always
Wow.
comes.
He must be a fan. He knows that it is the 7 that is always coming.
茫茫多少次？
Yeah, those aren't your only outs. You're right. You can also hit jacks, 9s, queens. And if the turn's a spade, that's going to put a couple more outs up there, too.
6, 9.
Hit running spades as well.
This is a flip for the biggest EPT ever. 5 on the turn.
7, 7 always coming.
7 always coming.
What a way to win it. If he calls for the 7. Let's see if the dealer brings down the thunder. So close. But kings hold. And Nerzinski doubles up.
Wong to act first. And just verifying the size of his raise. Pocket 9s. And he's run into the jacks of Nijinsky.
Oh boy.
1 million is the bet from Wong. Nijinsky responds with a 3-bet. There was a fistful of the golden brown chips there. 3.1 million.
And both of these hands heads up, especially 70 big blinds deep. They are monsters.
Can you get in 70 big blinds with these hands?
It really depends on your opponent. In the correct dynamic, if we've seen a lot of raise 3-bet, 4-bet wars, then definitely there's going to be an argument that you 4-bet call 9s. I think between these two, we've not seen a huge amount of pre-flop action. So Wong more likely just to take this one to a flop. That's exactly what he does with a call.
The flop is all diamonds. Both players have a diamond. Look at that. The quick check from Nijinsky. What suits did I have again? So Wong's flush draw is no good. He only has 7% equity.
Nijinsky checks, having 3-bet pre-flop.
And this does not look like a terrible board for a pair of 9s when you've got the 9 of diamonds in your hand, especially.
And Wong checks behind.
Wow.
It's certainly a situation where a lot of players would bet the 9s heads up, even in a 3-bet pot. Your opponent's going to have plenty of broadways that miss, but maybe they still have a diamond. Especially a hand like ace-king with the ace of diamonds might not always be continuation betting, and you'd want value or protection.
Delayed continuation bet from Nijinsky, 3.5 million, called by Wong. This hand going to the river. The pot is 13.6 million. The river card is the deuce of clubs.
I think if I'm Nijinsky at this point, I'd be very, very happy with the strength of my hand. The flop's checked through. You've got a call on the turn. Your opponent's going to have some 10s. And I think with the diamonds missing on the flop, and given he didn't bet the flop, he'll want to go big and look for what he would see as a pretty straightforward call if you've got a 10 here.
9s are basically the same hand, right?
Right. Well, sometimes it's going to be like an ace-10 maybe. But I can't imagine nines are going to want to fold.
It's one of those situations where Nijinsky played a time bank card and there was confusion about what had happened. Sometimes it looks like players are folding when actually they're playing the time bank cards.
But it's such a clean river for Nijinsky to be able to value bet.
I think he's just working out his bet sizing, which is why he wanted the additional thinking time. And here comes the bet, 12 million. He goes pretty much full pot.
I like it. I really like it. I think if Wong gets here with a 10, he's very, very difficult for him to find a fold, given the flop was not bet. Obviously, like you say, Joe, 9's very, very similar hand.
Except that you're losing to a 10 also.
Now, this is obviously a big decision for Wong, and I think he only has one time bank card left.
I've been keeping track, yep. It's just one left.
So that means he's got 60 seconds to make a decision.
Wow, you talk about pressure.
I mean, I guess he can't raise after this.
It's one of those spots where he never wants to raise. It's a very polarizing sizing, and you don't imagine that Nijinsky's going to bet fold for this sizing. He has plenty of showdown value. He wins against all those bluffs. But he needs to ask himself, if Nijinsky 3-bets with king-queen, with the king of diamonds or queen of diamonds, does he not bet flop?
Okay, so that's the last time bank card being enacted.
He's
called. He's called. He called just before the counter hit 0, pressured into making a decision, and he makes the wrong decision. Pays off Nijinsky's huge value bet, and the stacks aren't close anymore. Nijinsky has the huge chip advantage, close to 120 big blinds, and Wong is down to 24 big blinds. It's 47 million, plays 10 million. Ace, 9 of clubs. He limps. Now Zhong Wang checks his option with king deuce.
Oh boy.
Ace, king, 6 flop.
We have seen Wang lead in some unorthodox situations.
And he's leading here. Bets 500,000.
Now it is a limped pot. He's going to have the best hand a decent amount of the time. Looks for some protection.
Picks up a flush draw, Nijinsky does.
Nijinsky in a great spot now. Top pair and a flush draw. His opponent checks to him. He's got to like the strength of his hand a lot. Would expect him to value bet here.
Wong's body language there is troublesome to me.
Nijinsky bets 2 million, nearly full pot.
He didn't even think about whether or not to call or fold or raise there, just insta-called.
Very quick call from Wong. The river card is the 4 of diamonds. Nijinsky is a lock to win the hand. Wong has 16 bigs behind.
Well, you can understand the call on the turn. He does still beat some of those flush draws. He doesn't beat any of them now. He's still behind to all the ace-X.
All in.
Nijinsky shoves on Wong. He's got 30 seconds to make his decision. There aren't many moments in poker where you're feeling pressure like this. All in to call. Ten-second countdown. You have to make a decision. He calls and it's over. Wong calls all in and sees that his pair of kings are no good to Nijinsky's pair of aces. And we have a Polish champion of the EPT here in Barcelona. Peter Nijinsky follows in the footsteps of his fellow countryman Sebastian Malitz, who took down the title in 2016. And Nijinsky turns 250 euros, that's what he paid to qualify online, into a payday of more than $1 million. He locked up 857K in the four-way deal. He gets the additional 180K. That's 1,037,000 euros. Congratulations from his fiancée, Asha. And also, he's won that platinum pass to the PokerStars Players Championship in the Bahamas in January 2019.
Piotr Nijinsky, you just won the biggest EPT main event of all time. What does that mean to you?
I can't believe it. It's shock to me. But wow, yeah, I did it. But I ran really, really well. Today I made 2 huge mistakes, and I was thinking it will. I can't win it, but wow, it's amazing. It's hard to say something now.
You also won a Platinum Pass. Are you excited to go to the Bahamas?
Yeah, of course, I'm excited.
And it took. Did it take a little bit of the pressure off when you made that deal?
Yeah. The pressure was much lower then, so I think I played much better from this point.
And you joined the ranks of some great Polish EPT winners. How does that feel to be amongst Sebastian Malec, Dominik Panka?
What can I say? It's a great feeling. Yeah, and well, I have been watching EPT series for so many years. It was my dream to to end on the final table, but wow, it's shocking.
It's quite all right, man. Hey, it's a dream come true for this guy. Let's get a big round of applause for the biggest EPT main event champion of all time, Piotr Nizinski.
Besting a field of 1,931 total entries. And here's how it finished at the final table. Takirpe first man out, 287K. Rodrigo Carmo then went in 5th, cashing for 354,000 euros. Then came the 4-way deal, an ICM chop. Mark locked up 698K, 725,000 euros. 7-figure scores for the top 2, plus platinum passes. One gets 1,023,701 euros. Nizinski's the champion, 1,037,109 euros. And now it's time for the winner's presentation. Give that man his trophy.
Hello and welcome to the winner's presentation for the record-breaking 2018 EPT Barcelona main event. With me on stage is tournament director Toby Stone and poker manager for Casino Barcelona, Raul Horta. It's 15 times we've been here in Barcelona. Every time it is the most popular stop on the tour. After 6 days of hard-fought poker, we finally have a winner. Now, before we get to that, I do want to congratulate Hao Zhang Wang. Well played, sir. You did not win the main event here, but because Piotr won the qualifier last longer, you are getting a $30,000 platinum pass to the Bahamas. And now for our winner who has bested a monster field to take this down today. Congratulations, Piotr Nizinski. You walk away with over €1 million, but also the second platinum pass of this final table. Looking forward to seeing you in January for the PokerStars Players Championship. Now there's just one thing left to do. Senor Horta, give that man his trophy.
But that's it from the EPT here in Spain. From Joe Stapleton, from Randy Lou, Benjamin Spragg, Finton Hand, from the entire production team, and me, James Hartigan, it's good night from Barcelona.
But maybe if you decide to push, I'll be